Work out there today. We've done most of the game planning and practice. And now we got Thursday and Friday to make sure we clean it up. Questions?
What did you see a quarterback today?
They both took some reps. Mike took, really three quarterbacks took some reps at one point or another in practice. I'm pleased with how Chris has looked. I think he's doing a good job of handling the game plan as the guy who's taking the most reps right now in practice. But it was good to see Gary out there able to do a couple things today as well.
Third down conversions, 28.1% the last 2 weeks, and I think it was 43% through 5-1 start. Is that an emphasis, and how do you improve that?
I think it's an emphasis every week. Third down conversions are critical. When you don't make them, it's almost like a turnover because you have to give the ball back. But I think it comes back to running the football better. The more efficiently you run the football, you get a lot more 3rd and 2, 3s and 4s, and then your percentage goes way up on the conversions. You're trying to convert 3rd and 7 to 12 the whole game. It gets tough.
How encouraging is Gary's progress? I think on Sunday he was on crutches, and now he's out there able to take reps.
It's about what I expected. Yeah, about what I expected. I think you always got to wait a couple days. I don't think you can judge it too much early in the week. And now, it's Wednesday today, so we have a few more days to see what he'll be able to do and if we feel like he can help us in the game.
Kyle, I think I've seen Nadir play a lot more slot recently than he was earlier in his career. Has he shown you something to do that? And how different is slot versus outside corner in your scheme? What do you look for in a slot corner?
It's similar. It's a similar skill set. It's a little different spatially because you have a little bit more of a two-way go. When you're playing on the inside. Delon was the guy playing in there early, then Delon got a little dinged up, so Nadir moved in there, and I think now you'll probably see both those guys. So it takes the ability. You have to be a good cover guy. You have to be a good cover guy. Go in there and play on the slot. And you see a lot of teams when they bring their third corner in. Generally, one of the two starters goes to that slot position.
Kyle, for you guys up front on offense, what are the challenges of playing a 3-4 defense? A little bit different look than what you've seen, I guess, the Big Ten play so far.
This week, the challenges are they've got good players, and they give you multiple looks. So you have to make sure that you're identifying every look they give you correctly so that you're putting the hats on the right people. But then it's not just enough because they've got good players. They play with tremendous effort. And like I said earlier in the week, I think they play excellent 11-man defense. Their support players are very active. And because they play at a high level at corner, they leave those guys in some one-on-one situations. But they haven't had a lot of big plays against them because the corners have done a good job. It allows them to get the safeties in the box. Their leading tackler is the safety.
Kyle, it seems like the last 2 weeks has been a little bit of trouble sometimes getting lined up pre-snap on defense. What do you do to fix that?
I don't know if I would agree with that statement. When you play no huddle offenses, they're certainly going to try to stress you. There's no doubt about that. But I feel like we'll get lined up fine this week.
Third down blocking between Goodwin and Peoples, are they similar in skill sets, and can you just confidence level in Robert Martin as well?
I have confidence in Robert. We've actually used three guys so far. We've used Burton at times. We've used Robert. We've used Burton. We've used Goodwin. We've used Peoples. I think at this point I would have confidence to use Robert as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see him out there on third down. And it's going to be important this week because they've got a variety of blitzes that you have to handle, and the back is going to have to be a part of the protection unit this week for us.
Is that different generally? I mean, there's been years where Savon was like the third down guy. I mean, is it different that you've actually have confidence in really four of them?
I think what you try to do is you try to make sure that everybody each week has the right role. When I first got here, Brian was the third down back for 2 years. And then when Brian graduated, Ray became the third down back for a year. And then when Ray left, Cordell became the third down back. So sometimes you use one guy, but if you have certain packages or certain things you think some backs do better than others, you can fit the pieces better and make sure you're maximizing your personnel.
Do you have two different guys playing their two different quarterbacks when you get, and who are they when you're practicing?
We do. We have Hayden's playing the traditional drop back Joel quarterback, and then Isaiah Wharton is back there playing the Tanner, the dual threat quarterback.
You talked about receivers yesterday when they get it, just make the catch. Are they getting open other than Leonte? Are the other ones getting open? Is it a time issue with quarterbacks? Or
I think we just got to be in better situations. The more you're on schedule, the better play caller you are. The more efficient you are. And if we can run the ball better on first and second down, we'll be in more of those efficient situations. And I think what we'll see is the plays will flow a little better and they'll look a little cleaner. And we've had some games like that, but the last two games we haven't. We've been behind the sticks a little bit. So running the ball. I know I keep coming back to that, but there's a reason. The way we play football here, when we run the ball effectively, everything else in turn it gets open for us.
When you look at receivers, kind of drawing what he said, are you expecting or hoping for one guy to kind of step up as a second targeted receiver besides Leonte, or is it kind of just a mix and match thing you guys can go with for the rest of the season?
I think we've got a group of talented receivers. I think guys like Drew Terzilli, Andre Patton, Janarian Grant, John Simmons, at one point or another, these guys have all made plays, in the games. So I've got confidence in them as a group. Now it'll just be a matter of who is the one that gets called on that particular play.
I don't know if you saw, I guess it was a couple days ago, Mike Leach said something about New Jersey high school football not being as good as people think it is. That's obviously where you get most of your players. I assume that's not, and it riled up a bunch of the New Jersey high school football coaches as you would expect.
It's an interesting comment based on our game. But I don't have a response. Mike is entitled to whatever opinion he wants. I think if you look at the success we've had in our program, 8 bowl games in 9 years, with a lot of New Jersey football players helping us and a few others playing around the country that had pretty good success. I don't know that there's a lot of people out there of the opinion that New Jersey high school football isn't some of the best in the country.